The Golden Globes are coming up in a few months, but who will not be in attendance? Welcome to Beyond the Screen, I'm Nate, and these are 10 celebrities banned from the 2024 Golden Globes. Number 10, Russell Brand. The comedian turned actor Russell Brand may be best known for roles like All the Snow and Get Him to the Greek and Forgetting Sarah Marshall, or maybe for his musical chops with his real fake band Infant Sorrow. But what many people may not know about the Brand Man is that awards shows have always been his guilty pleasure. Russell was a regular audience member, and eventually he was asked to attend as a full-fledged host for MTV's VMAs. The hosting gig has been debated by fans as both being great for his career and a career ender. He decided to take time away from the artists and joke about the American president at the time, Barack Obama, and former president George W. Bush. He said a lot of stuff that I can't repeat on the internet, literally calling Barack Obama another word for mentally challenged, and another one that means cat. Following his time as host, MTV decided that he was not the best fit for their program. The VMAs are supposed to be a fun night celebrating talented artists around the world, and instead, Russell turned it into a political stand-up routine. Considering he's not allowed back to the MTV Awards and, all the dark stuff that's come out about him this year, go check stuff out about that, he is not allowed at any awards shows ever again. Number 9, Amber Heard. Amber Heard is back to work after having her career put on hold while she participated in one of the most televised and highly debated celebrity court cases in history. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard got into a deep court battle over an op-ed she released back in 2016, in which she claimed that Johnny was a tyrant who was physically and emotionally damaging towards her during their relationship. Johnny won the trial, and both himself and Amber were good to get back to work. Johnny has been working on some more dramatic pieces and spending time on his music. Meanwhile, Amber got back into the saddle and started to film her latest project, In the Fire, which, surprise, she also produced. While the movie does exist, it's nowhere near the level it needs to be in order to get any nominations. There have been a ton of incredible movies and TV shows to come out of this year that do deserve nominations and wins. Her movie is not one of them, and so far she has not been invited to the ceremony. Number 8, Ellen DeGeneres. Now, before she was outed as the manager of a toxic work environment, she was actually a very well-respected TV host and celebrity. In 2014, she used her power to get a bunch of actors together for a selfie. The selfie featured the faces of Meryl Streep, Channing Tatum, Julia Roberts, Jennifer Lawrence, Bradley Cooper, Brad Pitt, Lupita Nyong'o, Peter Nyong'o, Angelina Jolie, Jared Leto, and one man whose name I'm not allowed to say because it'll get us demonetized, so let's call him the Spaceman. So many celebrities got together and the photo went viral overnight, but as I said, Ellen and her influence were a ticking clock heading for doomsday. Eventually, former employees got together to release statements claiming that they were subjected to rude behavior and just straight up bullying from both Ellen herself and several high-ranking executives. As this information was released, her show got canceled along with her career, and being a former TV host would usually mean that you're on track to host the Oscars or Golden Globes or any one of these events, but it's looking like she may not be invited to any awards shows anytime soon, especially not the Golden Globes. If Ellen ever wants to host a show for her own again, it'll have to be a self-tape docu-series that she sells as physical DVDs in a strip mall. Remember DVDs? I say that like they no longer exist in Walmarts. Number 7, Faye Dunaway and Warren Beatty. This is one of the few live TV fumbles that I actually got to see happen live, and I was just as confused as the rest of the world, I'm sure. In 2017, at the Oscar ceremony, Warren and Faye appeared on stage to present the award for Best Film. They opened an envelope and read the name out loud. At first, Faye was a little confused because it was later revealed that the envelope said Emma Stone La La Land, as she was accidentally handed a copy of the winner's name for Best Actress in a Leading Role. Because it said La La Land, she confidently told the audience that La La Land had won the Oscar. As the crew from the project flooded the stage, Warren and Faye continued to look a little confused until the stage is just overflowing with excited people ready to accept their Oscars. However, a moment later, the director of the film, Damien Chazelle, saw the envelope and addressed the audience. A mistake had been made and they did not win. A stagehand ran to the crew, handing them the real winner's name, Moonlight. Moonlight had won Best Picture that year, not La La Land. There was a moment of people thinking that this is some kind of a joke, but they were being very sincere. The best part of this moment is Ryan Gosling, the lead of the movie and nominee for Best Actor, trying to contain his laughter. He wasn't even upset. It was more like a, you gotta be kidding me. Something tells me that Faye and Warren will not be asked to present another award at any show for the foreseeable future. Number 6. John Travolta. A little while back in 2014, John Travolta flubbed the name of one of the most famous women in musical theater history. At the Oscars that year, he was supposed to introduce Idina Menzel ahead of her performance of Let It Go, cause in case you didn't know, she's Elsa. She was also Elphaba in the musical Wicked and a ton of other shows as well, but for this event she was promoting the film and showcasing a piece of music that became one of the most popular songs for the next 3 years. He was so confident in his delivery, he introduced the audience to the wickedly talented, the one and only Adele Dazeem. The moment spawned some parody Twitter accounts and even an Adele Dazeem random name generator that turned Jared Leto into Jed Lopez and Matthew McConaughey into Michael Mausolean. The following year, the two appeared on stage together where Idina decided to drop a little revenge. She was set to introduce the next round of nominees, and as a little joke, the Oscars executives decided to invite John Travolta back to team up with Adele. She introduced him by his new name, Glom Gazingo. The interaction between them seemed a bit forced, but it was nice that they played the entire thing off as funny rather than an actual incident. Since then, John is to triple check things before he presents at any award shows, but for all we know, he's just stopped being invited to them altogether. Number 5. Kanye West. There are so many reasons that this man is banned from ever attending another VMA, a Golden Globe, an Oscar ceremony, anything in his entire life. We can chalk it up to him literally being a cuckoo. After all, he was fired from basically every single company that he worked for after posting some pretty bad tweets that I can't get into at this time. But the reality is that Kanye was banned in the mid-2010s following several public mishaps as well as one on stage that is still talked about to this day. An incident took place in 2009 at the VMAs when Taylor Swift attempted to accept her award for Best Female Artist of the Year. Kanye stormed the stage and took the microphone from her hands. He then told her that he was gonna let her finish, but he wanted to tell everyone that Beyonce had one of the best videos of all time. Taylor still jokes about that incident to this day. While she was in Mexico City during her Eras tour this year, she took the stage to play her piano when the crowd started chanting her name. She said that having someone interrupt you by chanting your name is the best way to be interrupted, and she should know. Kanye was issued a ban from the following year of the VMAs and has since received a lifetime ban from both MTV and has been blacklisted from most other award shows indefinitely. Number 4. Kevin Hart. Kevin was set to host the Oscars back in 2019, but he was fired last minute after a stand-up bit and a series of tweets resurfaced that painted him as anti-LGBTQ+. In 2009, Kevin sent out a series of tweets that contained jokes about his feelings should his son potentially come out in the future, making a comment that he would break a dollhouse over his head if he saw him playing with it. He said some harsher stuff that really should not be repeated, and I'm not gonna, but I can understand why a lot of people found these comments pretty rude and damaging, cause they were! At the time, the comments didn't go unnoticed, but they just kind of flew under the radar a little bit in terms of media coverage. He then repeated these jokes on stage in his seriously funny stand-up special. There were also a few homophobic jokes written into the script of the film Get Hard, which I have seen, and I gotta agree it's a little bit too much. In 2015, when asked about the tweets, he told people that he would not repeat the jokes that he made today, but the only reason was that the times were getting too sensitive. When he was announced as a host in 2018, the internet collectively put a case together as to why he should not be the host. The Oscars were forced to fire him in the role of the host due to the alarming numbers of hate mail that they were receiving on a daily basis. Before they actually let him go, they did give him an option to either apologize and own up or just to be let go. Hart released an Instagram video where he decided to pass on an apology because he had already addressed the issue several times and acknowledged the rights and wrongs of the incident. The statement only led to more online outrage and sparked a massive debate. But the next day, he released a separate statement apologizing for his actions and words, and especially to the community that he insulted. Although he apologized and things seem to get better now, he is not asked to do any gig like that ever again. Number 3. Roberto Benigni. In 1998, after being announced as the winner of the Oscar for Best Foreign Language Film and a ton of other Oscars that night, Roberto was stoked. So stoked that he forgot where he was for a second. He leaped to his feet and stood on the back of the seat in front of him, literally using a man's head to keep himself balanced. He proceeded to walk over a few people before jumping back into the aisle and running up to accept his award as normal. The moment was not seen as some crazy act, as this was a night that Roberto and Italy as a whole were honored with the film Life is Beautiful, receiving over 20 nominations and winning 10 of them. Roberto's excitement did cause the Academy and a few other awards shows to update their policies. No parkour during the ceremony, folks. Number 2. Britney Spears. Britney Spears was finally released from her conservatorship in 2021 and has since been on a new journey of self-realization and expression. In the past year or two, Britney has been involved with a ton of TV moments, usually interviews, but she recently released a memoir detailing her experiences. She revealed a ton of juicy information about herself and her family, but we've already done dedicated videos on that, so if you're curious, just, go back and check them out. As we are all aware, Hollywood loves to take books, whether they're fiction or non-fiction, as long as it's a good story, they're gonna use it. Well, Britney's memoir might be one of those books, but considering her behavior on TikTok in the past few months, something tells me that's probably not gonna happen anytime soon. For those of you who don't know, a series of videos were posted to Britney's TikTok where she seems to be dancing with some stabby jabby things and told everyone that they were fake. Fake or real? Someone needs to check on Britney, because no one's letting her any award shows anytime soon with that attitude. And at number 1, Will Smith. Will Smith is banned from every single awards show from now until the end of time. If you don't know why, you have been living under a rock for the last 2 years, say hi to Patrick for me. And those are some celebrities who may be unwelcome at this next Golden Globe ceremony. Please leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, follow the channel for more celebrity content each and every day, and thank you for stopping beyond the screen. It means a lot. See you next time.